Next up, a special piece for the In the Money Players podcast and also the In the Money Media YouTube channel. We've got a giveaway. You're going to want to stay tuned to hear about that. PTF back with you from Saratoga. Really looking forward to this loaded Saturday of racings. In this video, we're going to dial into one particular of the grade ones we're going to be seeing on Saturday. That's the Forego. And to do that with us, we have a man who I'm not sure if he's been on. It feels like he should have been on these shows if he hasn't been, but he is today. And I'm very happy to welcome to the In the Money airwaves, Harlan Malter. Harlan, how are you, my friend?
I don't know if I've been on direct with you, Peter, but you and I have been in this from the beginning for you and for me. So it feels great all the way back to when you started this amazing venture you're doing. And I kind of ventured off with Bucchero as a stallion. I feel like we've been talking about it off air for a lot of times up to that.
We would have met when Bucero ran at Royal Ascot, if I'm not mistaken. So was that 2017-ish?
2018. And you and I have been chasing each other around at Ascot and on phone calls and emails since then.
It is a good point. You do play an important role in the history of the network. You were, in my memory, the person who encouraged me, hey, don't just do a podcast, do all this stuff, because there's a hunger out there for racing information. There's also a hunger for exciting stallions. And we've got a Bucero we're going to be talking about, obviously, front and center in this race in the form of Book'em Danno. But I did want to start out by asking you a little bit more generally. So, Bucero obviously produced incredibly well as a stallion in Florida. Now in New York, we've talked to our friends at Adelphi Racing Club and elsewhere about how the New York breeding scene is changing, especially with the advent of a new synthetic surface. How have things been going so far for Bucero in his new digs in the Empire State?
Fantastic. Listen, I'm a New Yorker at heart, and I'm thrilled to have been able to move him back to New York. The program's unbelievable. I mean, the new every time I look at the picture of the new Belmont, I just spent a big chunk of time at Saratoga at the sale and at the races. I mean, it's the place to be. I think Kentucky's obviously great. They got the Derby and they got lots of great stuff. But man, New York has such a bright future, and having a stallion there who's doing as well as he is doing, and obviously having Book'em Danno do it on the big stage in New York has been fantastic. But he had a great year. We actually put out our own shingle. We started Ironhorse Stallions. It's an extension of Ironhorse Racing, which we've been doing for a long time. And we bred 192 mares this year. So there's a huge excitement by the breeders in New York. We've been thrilled to work with them, and we're just excited to be part of the New York program.
Early returns are good, too. I did notice some pretty impressive babies at that New York bred sale. What can you tell us in terms of recap about what went down at the New York bred sale for you guys?
Well, we were very excited, actually. I think it was a lot of, sometimes timing works really well. K-Cup, who I guess is running in the stakes this week, had a half sister by Bucero, who's in the sale, who ended up being the highest priced New York sire. I have to use it properly because it was a Florida conceived. It's a New York bred. This was Florida conceived, but it is a New York bred and a sire standing in New York. Sold for $240,000. So we're excited to have the New York bred, soon to be New York sired horses on their way.
Let's talk about this Forego Stakes and Book'em Danno. This horse he's just so ridiculously popular, and the reasons are obvious. He is an incredibly hard trier. He's won some valuable prizes. He's in career form heading to the Forego on Saturday. I think the race shape is going to suit him terrifically. He's shown he can lay up on a fast pace and finish. He can basically adapt to most any pace scenario. I picked him in the piece I wrote for our friends over at atheraces.com. How confident do you feel about Buchero's son, Book'em Danno, in the Forego on Saturday?
Well, I've become quite good friends with Jay and the whole group at Atlantic 6, so I kind of view myself as the honorary co-manager of the horse. Derek tries to ignore as many calls as he possibly can, as most of my trainers do also. But obviously the complaint on Book'em Danno from Derek has always been the trips. And, he has a horse that it sure seems that if you put him where you want him, he's going to deliver. And, he got the 4 post this time. And I said to Jay, with Paco, I think he could have the -7 post and still get outside if he needed to. So, look, I think it's an 11-horse field. There's real depth. It's a great Saratoga race, for the quality of stakes. They put a great race together. Danno has it right there. He's training fantastic. Derek's done an unbelievable job keeping this horse in form. He seems to show up, and he's kind of been the dream horse, the flag bearer for Bucero. He kind of like Bucero was. Shows up, put him in the gate, put me where I need to be, and when you ask me to run, I'm going to run. And I think that's why people are so, they love horses that they can rely on and root for. Win, lose, or draw, I'm sure he's going to try his best, and I think that's all an owner, a fan, or anybody in the sport can ask for in a horse.
My line in the At the Races piece was the best New York bred since, best New Jersey bred since Springsteen. I was
Richard McLeod said the other day, I said, I think he gets into I think he gets into the discussion of the best New Jersey bred all the time. And I said to myself, and again, I fault myself for not being a good enough racing horse. I said, man, he's got to be. I forgot Regret was a New Jersey bred, if I remember. And so, that was obviously a high target to target.
Yeah, but on the short list, no matter Absolutely. How you slice it, I want to get to who you see as the main dangers in the race. But first, I want to tell people about this giveaway. We've got a couple of different ways you can win a Bucero hat, but one of them is going to be put a comment. Any comment in here that mentions Bucero, you will be automatically entered in a drawing to win this hat. We're going to pick one person at random. And then that person is going to win the Bucero hat. I'll be in touch with you. I'll ask you to reach out to me. I'll respond in the comments, and I'll have you hit me up in themoneypodcast.com. The contact page there goes right to my email. But to enter in the first order, all you need to do is leave us a comment. There's going to be other ways to win some cool Bucero merch also coming down the pike. We'll be telling you about that on future episodes. But yeah, really excited to help continue to spread the word about this exciting horse, especially given everything going on in the New York breeding industry. But let's get back to this race on Saturday. You mentioned it's a field of 11. Who do you see as the main dangers to Book'em Danno?
Well, I think that it's the fascinating thing about 7 furlong races, right? 7 furlong brings in the milers suddenly that kind of show up, and now your 6 furlong horses have to extend, your 7 furlongs have to shorten. The 7 furlong is really an unbelievable test. I know in Europe, the mile is really the ultimate test. And I think that 7 furlong in America, you have to be a super special horse. Some can't get that more than 6, right, and some can't cut back the mile. So I think some of the inside horses, Bishop's Bay, Most Wanted, I think both of those horses obviously are gonna show up. And let's be honest, Mulligan's run 2 races that should have already won stakes, last 2 races. I mean, unfortunately, he met Book'em Danno in both those races, and there's always the chance that it gets reversed. But like I said, I think across the board, this is a deep quality race with horses that all have a chance. Multiple horses have a chance to make their big step up in this race also. So I think everyone's gonna have to run to that for run on Saturday.
No doubt about it. And I do think, Mulligan, Book'em Danno certainly had the measure of him. But boy, if you just looked at the Mulligan PP cut in isolation outside the race, he won the race last year. He's just run his 2 fastest races. What's wrong with this horse? Well, he just has to figure out a way to reverse form with Book'em Danno. One long shot I will mention that I will definitely be using underneath with Book'em Danno, and maybe even for a penny on top, is the number 8 runner, Scotland. This is a horse who has been grinding along for a while, but I just get the impression watching these last couple of races that there might be, even at the age of 5, another step forward. And in a race where there's so many logicals who are going to have to be 6-1 and under, this is a horse that's going to be double digits that I think has some chance to make the frame. Book'em Danno, obviously the main selection. I'm going to be mainly just rowing in with him and hoping for the best. Any other closing thoughts for you, Harlan, when it comes to this year's Forego or the current status of Bucero as New York Stallion?
Well, like I said, this has been a great summer at Saratoga. I think there's been some great racing. This is an unbelievable card. I mean, I'm sure people are just, I know that some people are disappointed in the depth of the Travers field, but we're looking at a horse in that race, obviously, that looks, as a all-time potential great. So I think the whole card looks great. Forego obviously is going to be another test for Book'em Danno, but put him in the gate, open the gate, and see what he can do. And in Paco we trust. He just had another Bucero winner at Parks in the Stakes, Buccherino on Tuesday. So he's going to hope for go 2 for 2 on Bucero Stakes runners this week.
Well, fingers are crossed. Big fan of this horse, and this is the one I just liked on paper anyway. And then we had the tie-in with you, so we figured we'd get you on here, maybe for the first time, but certainly not for the last time. Loads more coverage on the In the Money Media Network. JK is going to have his Pick 5 video up I'm going to be doing a pick 5 video with Matt Vagvolgi covering this all stakes action. We'll have even more for you on the In the Money Plus side, inthemoneypodcast.com/plus, if you want to check that out. And remember, leave us a comment and you have a chance to win a cool Bucchero hat. I will be sporting one soon. It did not arrive in time for this video, but I'm looking forward to busting out that merch. Harlan, thank you so much. We appreciate you and everybody out there for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, click on another video. And if you're listening, there's going to be more content coming up right now.